Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Second the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE. $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets if either team scores a touchdown. Restrictions apply. Oh, man. What a disappointing Friday, aka Black Friday. Not a good day of pick'em for me. I'll blame the tryptophan. Yes, tryptophan sedated me. It impacted my picking ability. So I blame all the turkeys, all the tryptophan. It's all your fault. 0-2-1. Kicking myself because I said USA. Hey, it could be a draw. I can't bet a draw. I'll take USA on the no draw. So that was the push. However, should have just taken like USA +1, gotten away with because then you win with the draw. Again, I like the +345. I thought they had a shot to win. They really did have a shot to win. I mean, if you watch that game, they got some good looks. I mean, I think they had the better looks in the game. Again, it was 0-0, kind of boring. Overall, USA win and get in. All they got to do is beat Iran, and they are moving on, which would be pretty fun. So that should be a huge game. I'm sure we'll be talking about it. Baylor +8.5. Oh, lost by 11. Had a chance to backdoor it. They got out to a great start. Got a early safety, early touchdown, great first half, and then turnovers just fell apart in the second half. +8.5 felt good, taking the L there. And then UNC, almost the exact opposite. They dug themselves into a hole and then played their way out of it. Game was tied. They throw a pick. Then they end up tying the game on like one of the last plays in regulation to send it to OT. And then OT, college, you have a chance to cover 6.5. They didn't get it done. They ended up losing outright in double OT 32-27. But RIP to those picks. The great news is we got more picks on the way. It is college football Saturday, rivalry Saturday. Ho ho. And feel free to chime in here as we talk about the Kenneth Walker jersey. I think for the comments, youtube.com/bettingpros, hit subscribe, comment on this video. Why don't you fire off your favorite college rivalry? Because there's a ton for college football, and we're going to be hitting on some here. Again, your comment, your subscription, you're automatically entered to win an autographed Kenneth Walker jersey, a.k.a. K9. Just love calling him K9. So fun. All right, first up, we call it the game. Michigan at Ohio State. Going chalky here. I got some dogs later on. I got 4 picks, all 2-unit plays for college football. Michigan at Ohio State. Give me Ohio State -7.5 for 2 units. This is a revenge game for Ohio State. They've had this on their calendar for the entire year of getting back, when Michigan beat them. First time under Harbaugh. And I think they are going to be hungry for revenge. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, Michigan State, second in the nation in points, 46.8 points per game. But, Michigan, very good defense. So Ohio State, great offense. Michigan, great defense. Michigan allows only 11.2 points per game. I think that's kind of, it'll even out a little bit. I still think Ohio State's going to get theirs. The real mismatch is on the other side of the ball, where Ohio State has a pretty good defense, and Michigan's offense is just nowhere near what Ohio State's offense is. And the big question is if Blake Corum's going to play. I would guess that he's going to play. He's their star running back. He got carted off the field and then came back last game, but he only played a couple plays, and it was obvious the knee was bothering him. So I think, if I had to guess, he does play, but I don't think he's going to be 100%. And you need him to be 100% to grind down the clock, get some explosive plays, but really just run your offense and be successful against this Ohio State defense, which is also pretty good. Ohio State at home just owns Michigan. 9-0 straight up last 9 games. I think Ohio State rolls, and give me Ohio State -7.5. I think they win by at least 14 here. It should be a decent game, but man, it's just that Michigan's offense on the road against this Ohio State defense with a Corum that's not 100% healthy. I just don't see how they get there. Moving over to the Civil War. Love this game. Oregon at Oregon State. Give me the Oregon State Beavers +4. Again, 4-2 units. Oregon State in Corvallis. This is just a tough place to play. Tough place to get a win. They're 10-1 straight up last 11 games at home and 11-0 ATS. So if all of your college football betting just was taking Oregon State at home, you'd be dominating right now. The only loss in those 11 games was USC at home, and they were in that game the entire time. They played USC really tough. I also learned, I was listening to another show, and the Civil War, I didn't realize this, but the trophy is a platypus. And they did that because they put together a duck for Oregon and a beaver for Oregon State, morphed it into a platypus. It's just awesome. It's why college football is great. Oregon State at home is just a bucket. 6-0 ATS. Like I said, 11-0 ATS as well. I guess that would include the 6-0. Kind of played the same angle twice there, but they're just so good at home ATS. And in a weird way, this is a bet against the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 always messes up any sort of legit chance they have to get into the college football playoff. Now, maybe USC gets it done against Notre Dame. In that game, I took Notre Dame +5, but I don't love it. So I kind of stayed away for this show. But, Pac-12 just seems to always mess it up when they have a chance to get a team into the college football playoff, and this seems like no different. I like Oregon State on the money line, but again, I've been a little cold, so I'm going to take the +4 because I do think if Oregon wins, it's going to be a field goal game. Oregon is the better team, but again, you're at home, you're in Corvallis, and also Bo Nix doesn't look 100%. He's still a little banged up, so I think between that and just Corvallis at home as a home dog, give me Oregon State all the way. Next up, Auburn at Alabama for the Iron Bowl. I'm taking Auburn +22 points. I mean, can you really trust Alabama as a massive favorite right now? I just don't think you can to cover a big number. Now, I guess the counter to that is, hey, this is Alabama's Super Bowl, but this isn't the Super Bowl these kids signed up for. These kids signed up to play in the college football playoff, to play in a national championship, and doesn't look like that's going to happen for Alabama. And meanwhile, Auburn, for Alabama, this might feel like an exhibition game. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Auburn, this is their Super Bowl. And not only does the Auburn team and the players seem like they have nothing to lose, so does their interim coach, Cadillac Williams. I don't know if you guys saw, but Cadillac Williams is the interim head coach. It seems like it's Lane Kiffin's job. That's what all the rumors are swirling, that he's going to get the job. But if you're Cadillac Williams, I mean, you're just going for it, right? You're playing with house money. The team is 2-1 since Cadillac took over. The only loss was they did lose to Mississippi State in that first game where he was coaching. They lost in double OT, but they seem to respond to him. So I think the players have his back. They had a win against Texas A&M, which obviously Texas A&M not great right now, but still coming in as an interim head coach with not a lot of experience, I think is pretty cool for Cadillac Williams. And again, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to just be going for it. I mean, imagine if Cadillac Williams took down Nick Saban. I don't know if that happens, but I certainly like them catching 22 points. That feels like way too much. And again, he's playing for his next job. These players, who knows what's going to happen, but they're going to go out in their shields, I think. So Auburn, this is a massive get-up spot for them, so I like them catching 22 points. Next up, Washington at Washington State for the Apple Cup. This is for all the apples. I'm taking Washington State as a small home dog here, +2. Again, 2 units. Washington State, again, great at home. ATS, 5-1. Washington on the road struggles to cover, 1-3 ATS. Now, Washington State does have issues with their pass defense. However, they're still, when it comes to scoring, their defense is 23rd in the country in points allowed. Both teams like to throw it a bunch. And so I think Washington State could kind of hang with this Washington team. I could see Washington getting hyped up, possible revenge angle for them. But again, this is partly on just high seeded high-ranked teams messing it up for the Pac-12 on the road here. I think Washington State probably get the outright win. I'll take the 2 points just in case there's some last-minute, 1-point win by Washington. And I think Washington State has a decent pass rush. So ideally, they get to Michael Penix, create some pressure, and again, get the cover, maybe get the outright win. But that's what I got for some college football. So give me Washington State +2. Give me Auburn +22. Give me Oregon State +4. And give me Ohio State -7.5. So we got 3 dogs and a favorite. Hey, as always, betmgm.com, promo code JUICE, bet $10, get $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Follow us on TikTok @bettingpros. Follow me on Twitter @Sean T. Green, and check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.